Elita, thank you. Yes, okay. So I see that you've done more work, and that's fantastic. I still have a couple of comments, though, I think that will help. But great job. I mean, you've got it together here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this cover letter. And the first thing I notice that, the way that you're using this alignment and this color is kind of working against you. And let me describe why. Um, okay, the first example that you showed didn't, it had your contact information here, but it didn't have this information here, which it needs. So I think in my first video I mentioned how versatile a letterhead could possibly be if you were to place the contact information at the bottom. And I think this is just a fantastic example of why, because after you have your logo, then you have your contact information up here. Okay, then you have your correct salutations, your business formatting. You have the company name here, and the contact's name here. So the body copy doesn't start until almost halfway down your page. So it's really kind of bizarre. Well, let me show you, and you can see it. Let's back off. That's the best way to see it. Is you see this? This is all, and this could be condensed down to this letter could start clear up here. And it would just be so much more balanced, the page would, by just moving that contact information, span it down there. And then I would not, in this situation you're drawing a relationship, because based on color, color makes the viewer look at things like they belong together. So these being the same color, the viewer thinks there's a relationship between this and this, which of course there's a relationship between all three because of the red. But there shouldn't be a relationship between the address of the contact and your address, right? They're not related. For that, in this format, I would highly recommend placing that in black to group it with the body copy, which is associated with, which has a relationship with this. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay. And again, we see that same phenomenon here in your resume, because here your resume doesn't start, again, till clear halfway down the page. I would remove this page. You should definitely remove that page. It doesn't need to be a part of your portfolio. A lot of times a nice white page has a nice introduction. Good job. Now you were starting to see things being gridded out very nicely, and we can see that because my cursor is placed on the left margin. And it looks like you're pretty darn consistent throughout the entire presentation. If we take that same cursor, mark it over on the right margin, we can see that again, very consistent. That's why your pages are so harmonious right now, and they weren't before, well, before you started using the grid. So really good job there. Really good job there. Sometimes using a grid, you have to try to figure things out. This right here is, boy, that's a tough one, because it almost looks like you're just kind of missing. I know that site has a white banner, so it's kind of, see what I'm saying? It's just odd. You might consider a stroke around the whole thing. Really tiny, little thin black stroke. Very, very strong piece. I talked about that. I talked about the rest of this stuff. That's new. That looks good. I would, if that's direct mail, and I would say, I mean, is that where the address goes? And if so, what's on the back? The back, I always recommend to show the back side. Number one, it's a whole surface you should probably print, especially on direct mail. Now, you can't show the back side of a news ad, of course, because it's a news ad. There's something on the other side. But presumably, this is going to have something on the other side. It's going to look awfully odd coming through the mail with only one side, right? So go ahead and design the other side and show us what that looks. You don't have to do that now. I'm just saying moving forward in your presentation, and I would grid this out too. I would get some couple of close-ups here, because that right there could fit right here, and it's a neat, interesting. And then this guy right here, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of neat, little interesting. So you could clearly fix that. I mean, grid that page out so that there's no, so that in an interesting way to show closer the work. The process book looks fantastic. Good job here, showing 3 pages deep. I don't know if maybe you should show one page, so that we can see that one page, and then show the other 2 pages. Don't have to be as big. Just see what I'm saying? Maybe a configuration like that might be more interesting. That's a good piece. Looks great. As does that. Now that again, I talked about the background and that, so think about that. And you can also Photoshop the background. You clip that out and put it on some neat, cool wood table or something. Wood is really hot right now. That's why I say wood. So they're using a lot of wood in a lot of mock-ups. You'll see that. And then same thing with that. This piece looks good. I was thinking that would look awesome. Maybe mock that up on a wall of a kindergarten room or something. Or a schoolroom, I meant to say, not necessarily kindergarten. Electives look good, look good. We will need a credits page, of course, giving credit to all of the images that you have used that were not created by you. Okay? All right, good job. Awesome job. Thanks. Any questions? Give me a holler. Thanks, Alita.